Welcome back to ACCA Unfiltered, where we take off the top student mask and talk about the reality of the ACCA journey, the balancing act between study, life, and personal growth. Today's episode is about the mental hustle, balancing ACCA with everything else that is going on in your life. And even if you're not working while studying, the pressure is real. And when you're juggling expectations, deadlines, and your own doubts, it can feel like a full-time job. Joining me today is someone who's been incredibly open about her journey online. She's been inspiring fellow students with her honesty and aesthetic study motivation posts on Instagram. You might know her as Nur Shasha, or better known as Shasha. So welcome, Shasha.
Hi.
Shasha, it's so good to have you here. First up, can you tell us a little bit about your current situation? Where are you in your ACCA studies and what do you do for work?
So I actually finished my ACCA for about a year now, and I am working in finance for a Singapore company.
Wow, that's amazing that you're based here though.
I am based in Malaysia, yeah.
Alright, and so let's loosen things up a little. If your weekday routine had a soundtrack, what song would that be?
I think it's gonna be a final countdown.
Pretty intense, yes.
Yeah, because it's always super chaotic. I'm always rushed with deadlines. So yeah, I think it's pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate, huh? Every day is a final countdown for you.
Right.
Okay then, let's start from the beginning. Why did you pursue ACCA?
Right after SPM, I was debating between two different paths. It was actually completely different path. I wanted to either pursue ACCA because I enjoyed my accounting subjects at the time, but I also have a more creative side. I wanted to do interior designing for the longest time. So it was a debate between the two, and of course, Asian parents would prefer me to do accounting, right? So yeah, that's where I pursue.
Okay, yes, indeed. When you have two things that you love, sometimes you gotta choose one. And you can keep one for hobby and one for a living, right?
Yes.
Good choice, by the way. Was it part of your plan?
It was definitely not part of the plan because I initially really wanted to do interior designing, but yeah, I guess I would like my hobby to stay as something I love because as we know, when you do things you love as a full-time job, you tend to lose interest, and I would not want that. I would prefer it to be there as long as it could be there.
I see. That's nice. That's nice. When you were studying, what's a typical day like for you? Can you walk us through what a typical study day looked like for you back then?
So my college have a 8 a.m. to a 3 p.m. schedule every single day. Either an 8-hour class, the shortest would be a 4-hour class, and during exam season would be 10-hour class. And it's like a 1-hour break in between. So my Monday to Friday is always just school. I would not study at all on the weekend. It's for my me time and also my family time.
That sounds kind of like a final countdown every day as well, yeah? And that sounds actually pretty chaotic because some hours are pretty long. So I'm sure you have even more chaotic things that happen. Can you tell us what that is?
I think this is kind of a funny moment for me. As chaotic as it sounds, it's also very funny now. It wasn't so funny back then. But I actually live quite far from my college building. So it's either I took the shuttle bus or I have to walk and sweat. So I definitely do not want to sweat at my 8 a.m. class. So I have to take the shuttle. Whether I want it or not, I have to take the shuttle in the morning. I live on the 22nd floor, and the morning lift is always so packed. Like everyone rushed to your morning classes, right? I walk down the stairs, 22 flight of stairs, and I ran through a boom gate. It was open at the time and it banged right on my head. But I managed to catch my shuttle bus and go to my class with a bump on my head.
Did you sweat?
A little.
Okay then. Amazing feat, by the way. So let's talk about the emotional side of the hustle. So Have you ever felt like you couldn't handle the ACCA exams or the pressure that came with it?
Yes, I think it's very normal for every student to have their down moment where they think it's a little struggle here and there, but I think personally I have a really great group of support. My friends are very, very supportive. They don't make you feel like you didn't do it right. That's what kept me going at the time. Like my group of friends, they are really, really supportive, and I think that's also why I didn't give up.
That's good. It's very important to have a great support system. I'm glad you had them. Tell us about your lowest moment.
This was actually back in my final year. I failed this is my first time failing actually. It's my first paper I failed. I failed the particular paper a couple times and it was 49%. Passing mark was 50%. Considering that I did the paper a couple times, like every time I go to class, I feel like I know what I do, but when it comes to the paper, I don't know why I couldn't answer. So I think that really took a toll on my mental health.
I see. Wow. So close, huh? 1 point to just passing.
Yes.
Did you, or actually, did anyone else ever question your decision to continue with ACCA or suggest that you take a different path?
I think during when I already took it, nobody really questioned. They were more encouraging me to finish. They were like, "It's okay. I know you can do this. You have been through like more difficult things. Like this is possible. Finishing is possible. Finishing on time is actually very, very possible." But before I took, they actually asked me to rethink and think a couple times before I decide, because once I start doing and step my foot into it, there's not really a way to turn back, because you already started it, so might as well just finish, because if you change your course it might take longer, right?
Indeed, you got one leg in the water, might as well get your whole body wet. Nice. How do you overcome moments when you feel that things are very overwhelming?
I love the camera, so when I feel demotivated, I would just pick up my phone and document my life. I would do a get ready with me or a day in my life just to get myself out of the bed, because I feel like every time I feel demotivated, I just want to rot in bed. So for me to do something, I have pick up my camera and do a normal routine. I would just study like a chapter or just like one subtopic just for it to be in my video, but at least I do it. So I think it's okay to not study for a day or two. You are not a trauma surgeon, you are just a student, so it's normal.
Yes, it is normal. And I guess in a way, ACCA has also kickstarted your journey of Instagram. Yeah? Was there ever a moment where you considered giving up, but something changed your mind?
I think giving up, not really. I don't feel like giving up. I feel like there's always my down moments where I feel like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. I don't have to study today. I feel demotivated. I don't want to do this. But at the back of my mind, I always have things like, you know what? I already started this. I wanted this. Nobody forced me to do this, so might as well just finish it. And when people start telling me just take a break, I feel like that's what pushed me to continue and finish what I just started.
Because you're a rebel?
Because I don't like people telling me what to do.
Exactly. Okay then. Now, for the big question, is this all even worth it?
It is. When you struggle, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, right? So, of course, I think for every interview I went, people always look at my resume with like, oh, wow, you have an ACCA qualification at a very young age, especially because it's a globally recognized qualification, right? I feel like every interview will be like interesting. Like they didn't treat me like a fresh graduate. They treat me like an adult with experience. for at least like a year or two of experience. I was given a lot of opportunities in my current role where they didn't really give to other peers. I feel like I am trusted in my job, so I'm very happy with it, and I think that is because of my qualification.
That's great. That sounded as though you are a little bit more special than peers your age. And I guess that's what having the ACCA qualification gives you. Now that you're working, is there anything that you learned at work that no textbook could have taught you?
I feel like during ACCA, it teaches me how to manage my stress and my time really, really well. Textbook didn't say anything to do with stress management or time management, but ACCA definitely have. They teach me how to, manage. Okay, at this point in time, you have to finish this chapter and you have to take your exam at this particular date. And now when my boss throws me things out of the blue, when I have my plates very, very full, I managed to deliver it on time.
It's great. So in a way, when normal people, they have to learn time and stress management after they get to work, you get a little head start. Yeah, you learned it already during your course. That's great. Thank you so much. Let's wrap up with some advice, not from the top, but from the trenches.
I always tell my juniors to not compare themselves with their peers and focus on their own personal journey, because I think ACCA itself, like, you always do different things with your friends, especially different papers have different passing rates. So your friends might do something a little easier than what you are doing right now. So if you compare, you can only make yourself more insecure because they'll be passing with like 80 marks, 70 marks, and you are just passing at like, maybe 55 or 60, and that's great enough if you are doing a very, very hard paper. Don't compare yourself to your friends and focus on your own personal journey and have a very great mindset of I only care about myself.
Or what we call stay in your lane. Okay, great. When is the one time when you feel most proud of yourself?
I think it was when I failed a couple times in a row, like the 49%. I took 2 papers the next sitting and passed both with a good grade. So I think that was the best achievement I have during my ACCA days.
So your lowest time of your life, right after that you get the highest time of your life.
Yes, kind of.
I guess it's all worth it. It's really all worth it then. Maybe it's not always perfect, but for those who stick it out, like Shasha, the grind becomes the glow up. Shasha, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know so many people listening right now are probably feeling a little less lonely. If you found this episode helpful or inspiring, don't forget to follow and share it to a friend. And if you're ready to start your ACCA journey, head on to accaglobal.com.my for more. That's accaglobal.com.my. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.